Hello, I'm David from Eden Motor Group, and this is the Peugeot 2008 EV, a smorgasbord of beauty in French design. So let's find out exactly what it's all about and see what's what. So let's start with some specification. Now, to make this perfectly clear, all of the cars come with a absolute, and for want of a better to use a term again, smorgasbord of equipment. Things like a 6-speaker sound system, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, voice recognition, Peugeot's I-Cockpit system, even has a USB Type-C port, and 5 total USB ports as standard for charging. Lane Keep Assist, Peugeot's SOS system, these things are all completely standard. But then there are, of course, 3 in the range with some sub-iterations to choose from. The standard car, the Active, is still well equipped. You get 16-inch alloy wheels, automatic air conditioning, you get reversing sensors, you get a modular Bluetooth floor, you get LED lights. There is a lot of stuff to have on the standard. And then once we get past the standard, we move on to the Allure. You get roof rails as standard on the Allure, and of course you get bigger wheels. You also get a 180-degree reversing camera that kind of projects the floor onto the camera as you drive away. Let me show you an example. But you can also add the premium pack as well, which will, for most of a better word, add one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a car. Now, I actually can't show you this on the drive because it requires you to have 2 eyes, and I am of course recording through 1 camera, but essentially it works by 3D projecting an image into the central gauge cluster, and it's called Peugeot's 3D cockpit. I can show you what it looks like, but I can only describe how the miles per hour and the little icon that shows where we're at is elevated away from the actual map itself. It's very cool. But after that, we come over to the GT, which is what I'm driving now. Of course, all of these specifications add onto their previous specs, but the GT, for whatever reason, goes completely berserk and adds what seems to be an entire world into your driving experience. You get leather seats on the outside with this lime green stitching. You get heated seats as well, and of course you get the 8 color ambient lighting areas around the car, which make things driving at night rather almost like I'm in a vodka bar. It's very cool. You get carpet mats, aluminium pedals, wireless charging, full LED headlamps with high beam assist. You get satellite navigation in the form of Peugeot's 10-inch color touchscreen display, which is very responsive. And you can move over to the GT with the premium option as well, which will add 18-inch diamond cut wheels for truly awesome presence on the road. Radar guided cruise control, keyless entry, you get Alcantara seating, and all of this for between around about £30,000 and £39,000 at the time of recording this video. So the 2008 EV comes in 1 flavour, which is a 136 PS 50 kilowatt hour battery. That is good for around 192 miles of combined range. It also means that if you go into sport mode, you do indeed get to go from 0 to 60 in just over 8 seconds, which feels rather sprightly, to be honest with you. As ever, you of course have immediate torque in an electric car. So as we come around this little 30-mile-an-hour bend right here, moving up onto a 40. What we can do is, okay, here we go. So we're going 15 miles an hour, and I'm going to pin it, and there we go. Away we are. Nice. Okay, and that's 30. Let's slow down. You got to keep an eye with electric cars. Keep an eye on the miles per hour that you are doing, because it will catch up with you, and the last thing you want is a speeding ticket. Luckily, the Peugeot very clearly shows me right in the gauge cluster, big letters, 22 miles per hour, and then just above it shows speed limit of 30. So we are safe. we are good. We're not getting any speeding fines today. Now the car also comes with 2 regenerative braking modes, so you can select the flavour, as it were, of the amount of regenerative braking that you are able to do. You also get 260 Newton meters of torque, which is probably why it feels so punchy. From a wall box, you get a full charge in 7.5 hours, so that's more likely what you're going to have at home. But to be honest, what you're normally going to do is charge it from somewhere around from 30 or 40 to 100 normally, and that takes quite a bit less time, somewhere around the 4-hour mark. Rapid charging from a 100-watt dedicated terminal means you'll get to 80% charge in just 30 minutes, which means that if you are caught on the motorway, then you will be not wanting for waiting around for too long. You'll just finish your coffee by the time you've got about 150, 160 miles worth of range left in the thing, which is nice. And that's pretty much everything there is to know about batteries. So let's change the camera over and go for a virtual test drive. Now this is where the car is going to shine its best, because of course you get to see that beautiful French design, everything that's curved towards me, everything that's nice to the touch. And we get the flat bottom and top steering wheel as well of Peugeots of late, which I do quite like driving for several reasons, which I'll show you in just a moment. Now the first thing that is completely unmissable in the vehicle is, of course, the steering wheel, which has a flat bottom and a flat top as well. This makes for driving somewhat slightly different than usual. The car always feels sporty because of the steering wheel, and on this GT version we've got this perforated leather with this lime green stitching. I know that if you were to listen to this as an audio cast, you might think, lime green stitching, but actually, because you've got the seats with the lime green stitching as well, it all works together in a nice beautiful French flair. The next thing that you immediately notice, but I cannot demonstrate to you, is the 3D cockpit, which is in front of me. So the miles per hour, the North logo with the A358 right next to it, and of course the little icon that shows where we are within the car on the map, is actually projected out of the regular display. This makes it a lot clearer to see and makes things stand out as well. The seats might be the nicest seats I've ever sat in. Extremely comfortable and well supported, and they're designed beautifully as well. They have that joie de vivre of the French flair. And this is the first. I've never seen this in a car before. There is USB Type-C charging. Now the cockpit comes under sort of the Peugeot I-Cockpit software and services, and I think they've taken cockpit to heart, because there's a lot of aviation flair. Like these toggles down here all look like they've come from an aeroplane. You've got that 3D head-up-esque display in front of us. Everything is pointed towards the driver. The dash curves around beautifully to come at you, and the screen is facing you. But we're now going 40 along this road, and this road can go up to 70. So while we're in sport mode, let's push our foot on the throttle and see what it can do. And we're going to 50, so now go. That's 60, and that's 64, that's 66, and we need to back off now. And then if you do get bored with what's in front of you on a 3D display, it's just a simple flick of the wheel, and we'll go over to the driving section, which will then show us where our car is in the lane and a few other different bits and pieces. Flick up once again to just show us the dials, and we get this lovely animation between each one as well. I particularly like the fact that even though it's a digital display and we have the digital bit here, there is an outside ring showing sort of the speed as well as if it was an analog dial. It's all beautifully styled and rather lovely. The headrests also go completely down into the back seats, which means I can see the whole of the rear window behind me. And of course you have this pillarless mirror in the GT version as well. Now every Peugeot 2008, no matter which one you get, has an SOS button and active safety features. So even if you're not fancying all of the stuff that the GT can offer, you still get a plethora of equipment and specification, no matter which 2008 you pick. The steering is completely direct. If I point somewhere, I go there straight away. There's no messing around. There's no, I'm gonna think about going left a little bit. Like, you just dart left, which makes you feel very in control, because you then have the throttle response of an electric car and the regenerative braking and the direct steering. It all comes together to make a really nice, decent driving experience. So that's everything you need to know about the Peugeot 2008 EV. If you have any further questions at all, give us a ring on the number on screen right now. Or of course, you can send us an email. Thank you very much for watching.
One last thing. When you purchase your brand new electric vehicle from Eden Motor Group, make sure to quote Eden EV1 at the point of purchase, and you can have your first service on us. Offer ends 1st of April 2022. Thank you very much for watching.